Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us today as we talk about leading indicators. These are fantastic tools that give your business the visibility into the future that you need in order to be able to make decisions with confidence. I want to talk about how we leverage leading indicators and also what it means to the outlook that we have for the economy right now. But the key element that I want you to take away from this is that we are able to find leading indicators for individual businesses. And if you don't know what your company's leading indicators are, I hope this tutorial is going to help you get to that place and that you can plan with confidence and positivity as a result of being able to leverage this methodology. The way that leading indicators work is actually quite simple. So in this particular slide, I'm showing you two distinctly different data series. The blue line is an underlying set of industry data, but it could also be the business cycle of an individual company. The green line here is an ITR leading indicator. In this particular case, I'm leveraging the ITR leading indicator that is proprietary. We designed this tool ourselves, and I'm using the monthly data of that indicator plotted on top of the 12/12 rate of change of a sample set of industry data. Now, before I do anything else, I want you to observe that the peak in the green line, the leading indicator, occurred in May of 2010, and the peak in the blue line, in the actual set of industry data that we're trying to predict, didn't happen until about a year later in May of 2011. And you can see that throughout the data history, the low points in the green line and the high points in the green line typically lead that of the blue line. And what that suggests to us is that there is a 12-month lead time between the indicator itself and the underlying set of industry data that we're trying to predict what is going to happen. So once we've identified that lead-lag relationship based on the historic correlation between the two series, we can then look at the latest data in the leading indicator. Now keep in mind, this is not a forecast, it's not a guess or a conjecture, this has already happened. And we can physically manipulate that line by pushing it forward by 12 months, aligning the low points and high points in the two indicators, and using the last 12 months of data in that leading indicator to predict what is likely to happen with the underlying set of industry data. In this particular case, I can see that the low point in the blue line is likely to be imminent, and then it's going to face some nice rising momentum as we head through the second half of 2021 and into 2022. And again, keep in mind, this is before any forecasting is actually done. This is just using the input from one data series to predict with confidence and accuracy what a different data series is likely to do. So if you think about the implications of that, we can apply that at the macro level, we can do the leading indicator analysis for specific verticals, and we can even do it for a company performance. But the example I'm going to illustrate for you here is the US Industrial Production Index. This is our benchmark for the overall business-to-business manufacturing and business investment economy. It has three different components, manufacturing the largest one at 75%, but it also reflects heavy industry like oil and gas and mining, as well as the utilities sector. And as I mentioned, it's kind of the B2B economy rather than the business to consumer economy, which is typically represented by GDP. So here you can see a couple of different things. The solid blue line is the historic performance of the US Industrial Production Index. The dots that you see on the far right-hand side is our forecast for industrial production at this point in early 2021. The reason why that forecast looks the way that it does is because of the input from various leading indicators. So here you can see I've leveraged several of them, and I want you to see once we put the time shift on, that lead-lag relationship is being accounted for in these subsequent leading indicators. The ITR leading indicator, the monthly data there, certainly calls for that rise. You can see that the Purchasing Managers Index, in this case we're using the 1/12 rate of change, or the month-over-month growth rate, supports that assertion that after this low point that just occurred in February, we're going to have acceleration in the rates of change into early 2022. The Wilshire Market Cap is a stock market related leading indicator, and that too supports that assertion that we're going to have acceleration and then growth in industrial production over the course of the next 4 to 5 quarters. And finally, the JP Morgan Global Manufacturing Indicator also supports that notion that we are going to be seeing this rising trend that will accelerate momentum over the coming year or so. So the reason why this is so powerful is because these are a diverse set of industry indicators. And what we're looking to do is build a body of evidence that consistently and accurately predicts what the underlying set of industry data is going to be able to achieve. So you can actually find leading indicators for your own vertical markets and, more importantly, for your company performance. But the key is being able to track your rates of change, plot them visually on a graph or a chart, and then plot them versus some of these leading indicators, which is exactly what ITR Economics is here to help you do. So keeping this methodology in mind, I want you to understand there's a lot more leading indicators out there. In fact, this dashboard here shows our top dozen or so leading indicators for the U.S. Industrial Production Index. And as you can see, they consistently point to rise over the next 3 to 4 quarters. And it's quite a diverse set. We have everything from U.S. exports to capacity utilization, business confidence, and the Wilshire market cap, the stock market indicator, several proprietary ITR leading indicators, and of course, the purchasing managers indices. And they're all consistently pointing to rise. So we can leverage the insights from all of these indicators to not only predict what the economy is likely to do, but also what your industry is likely to do and what your specific business is likely to do. So I hope that this has been helpful, because I want you to understand that the power of the data that you already have access to, coupled with leading indicators, can really give you that confidence and help you be the data-driven decision maker that you need to be. I'll finish my talk today with a quick highlight of how we were able to leverage the system of both rate of change analysis and leading indicators to get our clients through the pandemic-driven recession of 2020. So this is our report card, if you will, of the forecast that we put together back in March of last year. And as you can see, oftentimes we actually had to rely on late 2019, early 2020 data. So before the actual disruption and volatility of the onset of pandemic was visible in the numbers. The second column, data forecast, shows you that the majority of these forecasts were put in place in that second half of March, before anyone had a real understanding of what was to come, what the pandemic was going to look like, what the economy was going to do in response. And then when we compared the results of our forecast to the actual year-end 2020 data, 9 months later, that's what the duration column alludes to, you can see how close to the mark we were able to come. The reason why I'm showing you this is not to pat ourselves on the back or to tell you how good we are at forecasting, although we are, but it is to give you the confidence that you need to know that the methodology I've shared with you today, rate of change analysis and leading indicators, does hold up even at times of great volatility. It is a data-driven approach to business performance analysis, and I hope that this tutorial video is going to help you do just that. Leverage good quality data and apply that to the performance of your business. Of course, we're here to support you if you need additional help, but I hope that you take this advice to heart, you implement this methodology into your own business performance, and as a result, become the data-driven decision maker that you need to be. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you found this useful, and please do reach out to us if there's anything we can do to help you. Have a great day.